say. I wasn't paying much attention, so I think I watched this some fairly after that pay-per-view. But yeah, this was that during time frame where I got tired of watching JBL all the time. I got tired of being champion. It's like, good lord,
Yeah, I don't blame you.
He went with 9-10 months being champion. It was like it just got a little old, and I just like, I just kind of left wrestling for a quick little minute, but I was just after that, I was like, are they gonna find a way to get him take the title off? They finally did a month later.
JBL always had a finisher I liked. I thought the clothesline from hell was a really good finisher, but beyond that, and he was the grading heel. In that sense, his character work was pretty good. It's just I did kind of like lose interest in who the champion was. I remember it was actually probably close to this pay-per-view because I don't think I watched this live, but I think it was close to this pay-per-view. I actually used to shut off the TV when JBL came on. I remember that. I remember because this is right around the time they had the SmackDown 6, and I remember being really interested in what was going on in the early part of the show, and then at the second hour, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, it's just that time frame that was going on. Eventually, the ratings spiked back up, but it was just time. It was just time to get JBL away from the title. So, but
exactly.
What did you rate it?
This one actually did a 6.
Oh, I gave it a 7.7.
You and I. Well, I think both between this match and the last match, you can kind of tell what our tastes are, how our tastes are different.
Oh man.
The only thing that really caught my interest in this one is the fact with the bull cutters where Landon Jordan cut a hole and tossed him to JBL. That was like the main thing. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. But generally speaking, I was way more invested in the Kurt Angle John Cena one. It's just, I guess part of it was because I was shocked on how well John Cena sold for Kurt Angle and how they were able to maneuver a real technical match out of John Cena, who's not known to being technical.
No, absolutely. It's honestly at this time frame, I was not a big John Cena fan. As a lot of people were, and it's like I wasn't emotionally invested in John Cena quite yet. I just was not in. I was like, I thought it was cool, but I was more interested in the gimmick, those tights he had on. I thought it was cool. There's like I lost, of course, people liked his heel gimmick after that. I thought that was okay. I was, it was you could see he had some potential and see that, okay, this guy could have a chance of doing something in time. But this time frame with this pay-per-view, I was into him, but it just wasn't like overly to where I can think a whole lot about it. But I thought it was a great match. The barbed wire steel cage had me into it. I thought it was pretty cool thing they were gonna do. But it was fairly good pay-per-view, honestly. A little long because they had that Diva contest.
Yeah, I didn't go into that. I thought it was
either.
a weird thing for them to do on the pay-per-view. It actually kind of took me out of the pay-per-view a couple of times because I'm like, all right, I'll leave this on because I don't know when it's gonna be to the next deal. But why are we taking a pay-per-view time for this?
I mean, granted, they're hot chicks, but I like seeing that. But it's like, okay, you could have done this on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, that was my point exactly. You could have done it on the TV shows.
But anytime we can see Dr. Wilson's always a good day. Anyways, that was great. It was a great show. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to bring back the No Way Out name. Completely.
They do, man. They really do. It makes better sense to have that, honestly. And we as we both talked about earlier, it's just, I'm not a fan of the Chamber name. And if you want to keep the match, that's fine. I just don't see the point of having it, especially in the road to WrestleMania. Especially if you're gonna have it, later in the year, maybe. But I'm not a fan of that. I never was a fan of a whole lot of these gimmick names. I'm not a fan of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view name. I know you are, but I like the match, and I thought it was a great way to have it at WrestleMania. But yeah, not too many shows out there. Hell in a Cell pay per view name, Fatal 4-Way was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But
It absolutely was. I don't know why they did it, honestly.
yeah, why are we having pay per view name? I'm gonna go watch Fatal 4-Way. Like what? Anyways, yeah, yeah, they gotta bring back No Way Out.
The only other gimmick name that kind of makes sense, it would be like a championship scramble. But at that point, it's kind of like a night of champions. You can put a bunch of belts on the line. But,
yeah, that's where you would do it at Night of Champions. Absolutely, it makes the
right,
whole
but
lot.
you can make the argument championship scramble could be a decent name for a pay per view because everyone's trying to scramble to get to the championship match.
I would say I would say Gold Rush, but I wouldn't say.
Yeah, Gold Rush is a good one name too.
I'm personally, I know the Champions Scramble is a pay per view name, but hey, that's what you're into.
Yeah, anything else you want to add about the pay per view?
That's about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be it for us tonight. You can get us, or not tonight, today. You can get us on Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Wrestling as Cool. Go ahead and take it over for the rest.
For Instagram, it's at Wrestling Still Cool. TikTok is at Wrestling Still Cool 90. Facebook is Wrestling Still Cool. And you got us on email at WrestlingStillCool@gmail.com. Say hello or suggest a review or a guest. We're having more guests here in the kind of near future. And also get us on DMs. You want to talk that way too on social media.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have a couple more guests lined up here. We have a couple more episodes planned for you. That'll be it for us today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And let's make a barbed wire match make sense again.